Exposed. The Singapore CEO who scammed the world in 48 hours. If you think financial scandals only happen on Wall Street, think again. Singapore, a country often praised as a symbol of transparency and strict governance, has just witnessed an event that caught many by surprise. At the center is David Chen, an Asian American CEO once celebrated as a global icon of sustainable investing. He had graced the covers of major financial magazines, sharing inspiring stories about blending profit with social responsibility. But when the truth came out, the picture was far less flattering. Reports revealed that Chen's company had inflated profits, concealed massive debts, and created the illusion of sustainable growth. For investors, this shock served as a stark reminder that even in environments considered the safest, risks always remain. The scandal not only brought heavy financial losses, but also shook the very foundation of trust. And the lingering question is this: do you really know where your money is going? David Chen built Green Future Capital on a promise that sounded almost irresistible: to turn every investment into a positive impact for the planet. From the very beginning, this vision touched the hearts of many, especially at a time when the world was becoming increasingly focused on climate change and social responsibility. American pension funds saw it as a golden opportunity to grow financially while demonstrating their commitment to the environment. Small investors did not want to miss out either, believing their money was helping to make the world a better place. Even the Singaporean government quickly expressed its support, viewing Green Future as a new symbol of how finance and sustainability could work hand in hand. But behind that shining image, the reality was far less simple. Much of the company's rapid growth came from carefully dressed-up numbers. Chen and his team consistently released reports showcasing extraordinary profits, green projects supposedly launched across the globe, and an increasingly diverse investment portfolio. Yet many crucial details were quietly hidden. Projects labeled as sustainable were in fact incomplete. Some funds had been shuffled around to create the illusion of abundant capital. Investors only saw the surface: inspiring speeches, polished financial statements, and endorsements from respected institutions. The more money poured in, the more the truth was buried. People trusted David Chen's image as a visionary global leader, but just like a movie set built to look perfect from the outside, Green Future was actually a story waiting to unravel. And when the door to reality finally cracked open, everyone realized there are no free miracles in the world of finance. But what no one expected came to light. The ESG reports, once praised as proof of transparency and sustainability, turned out to be nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion. The so-called green projects were inflated, emission reduction numbers could not be verified, and the investment portfolio was presented as a flawless picture designed to deceive trust. The shock deepened when it was revealed that part of the funds had been funneled through shell companies in the Cayman Islands. These entities had impressive names, but were nothing more than addresses on paper. That was where the money disappeared, leaving a massive question mark for the thousands of investors who had placed their faith in Green Future. The real collapse began when Emily Rogers, an American employee of the company, decided to speak out. She was the whistleblower who provided a trove of internal evidence to the press. Emails, contracts, financial spreadsheets, all pointed to fraud that was systematically orchestrated. Almost overnight, international media erupted. Major newspapers from New York to London and even in Singapore ran the story on their front pages. The Singaporean government had no choice but to launch a full-scale investigation. Meanwhile, in the United States, pension funds that had poured billions of dollars into Green Future were thrown into chaos. Retirees, factory workers, and school teachers alike were stunned to discover that their lifetime savings had been siphoned away in a sophisticated financial scheme. In the end, everything closed with a scenario no one had expected. David Chen, once celebrated on the covers of financial magazines, was now handcuffed and facing multiple charges of cross-border financial fraud. Green Future Capital, once valued in tens of billions of dollars, collapsed within just 48 hours after the scandal broke. The downfall was so swift that many investors barely had time to process what was happening. Pension funds were frozen, stocks evaporated, and the trust carefully built over decades in Singapore suddenly shook. The image of the nation as a safe haven for capital was now under serious question. Yet hidden behind this tragedy was a costly lesson. No brand is ever green enough to cover up the truth. No promise of guaranteed profit is strong enough to eliminate risk. Investors must remember that vigilance, independent verification, and the courage to ask tough questions remain the best shields. Sometimes what matters most is not hearing what you want to hear, but daring to look at the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. The ending of this story left many stunned. David Chen, once celebrated as a global symbol of sustainable investing, now stood before the court facing charges of cross-border financial fraud. Green Future Capital, once a source of pride for funds and investors, collapsed within just 48 hours after the scandal broke. The rapid downfall not only wiped out billions of dollars, but also left a deep crack in Singapore's image as a safe haven for capital. The question now is clear. If even a tightly regulated market like Singapore can be shaken, is any place truly immune to risk? Yet behind this shock lies an important lesson for all of us. Never let the slogans of a green brand or the promises of guaranteed profit dull your vigilance. In investing, transparency and the ability to ask tough questions remain the best shields, because in the end, the truth may be painful, but it is always more valuable than any illusion that has been carefully painted. To me, stories like this aren't just scandals. They're wake-up calls. If even a place as strict as Singapore can fall into corporate fraud, then no investor is truly safe. That's why I believe we all need to dig deeper, ask tougher questions, and never get blinded by shiny promises. Because in the end, protecting your money starts with protecting yourself.